Hey everyone, it's David again from Real Hardware Reviews. Today on the review bench, we have this monster of a system, which is the Alienware R12. Now, this is a pre-built system, but many of you might be considering buying a pre-built system due to the global shortage of semiconductors that have been plaguing the PC enthusiast market lately. The Alienware Aurora R12 is one of the few pre-builts that I would consider in your shortlist with a combination of design, build quality, and also gaming performance. The unit you see here today is a moderately spec'd out rig featuring the latest 11th gen Intel i7 11700 processor, as well as 16 gigs DDR4 RAM and the latest and greatest, the RTX 3070. One of the most noticeable features of the Alienware R12 would be its physical design. This isn't your boring old boxy square PC anymore, but rather a unique take on PC design aesthetics. The case is oval shaped with a central pillar that holds ports and loads of RGB LEDs, and the concave air intake has even more lighting. You can fully customize the lighting in the Alienware Command Center with various amounts of modes, different types of colors, and so forth as well. The white and black tone match extremely well, and on the right hand side you have the Alienware logo that shines through. On the front panel you got 3 USB-A ports as well as a USB-C port and a 3.5mm port for discrete mic and audio. On the back you'll find 10 more USB ports, another USB-C port, an Ethernet port, an optical audio port, and 6 different 3.5mm audio inputs, and also a handful of display ports and HDMI ports from the graphics card. The case employs a toolless access design that swings the PSU outward, giving you the most easy access to the motherboard and its components. Though, once you open up the case, there isn't much space to maneuver in. It's fairly cramped, and unless you're only updating the RAM or hard drives, you'll find it very difficult to add or upgrade components that will fit in this chassis. The R12 that was sent to me also included a wireless gaming mouse and also a mechanical keyboard. Do note that these are not free with the system and are a paid option when ordering. Both mouse and keyboard are excellent. The keyboard uses Cherry MX keys, and it also has RGB that can be controlled from the system. Same goes with the mouse. With how incredibly cramped the case is, I do have a few issues with overall cooling. Whenever the system is under load, the fans are noticeably loud, and when gaming, the system does crank up a notch, especially when it comes to noise. Sadly, my unit is only air-cooled, and you do have an option to upgrade it to an AIO cooler, which I highly recommend to unlock the full potential of the CPU. The chassis doesn't allow room for big air coolers, and airflow around the CPU is almost non-existent because of the power supply placement. Under load, I noticed that the GPU was hitting around 72 degrees Celsius after running a few benchmarks like Future Mark. The Intel i7 11700 processor is an impressive CPU, boosting 8 cores with PCIe Gen 4 and Thunderbolt USB Type-C as well. This is also great to run content creation tools and streaming software reasonably well on this system. Though, if you're planning to do more workstation applications, then do upgrade your RAM to at least 32 gigabytes. 16 gigs that's included in this machine is barely cutting it, especially if you're planning on streaming. That brings me to my biggest complaint of the R12, in that it's only rocking one single channel RAM stick. It's been proven time and time again that a single channel of DDR4 memory will hurt performance of the system compared to dual channel memory. Speaking about performance, I put the Aurora R12 to the test with the latest games that include Cyberpunk 2077 and Warzone. The R12 comes equipped with a reference 3070, which provided ample amounts of FPS with a 1080p 144Hz high refresh rate monitor. Now, when testing out the system with Cyberpunk 2077, I wasn't able to get the highest FPS possible. Now, the game is a very high demanding game, and even with DLSS, I was getting around 40, maybe high 50s. This with the settings all cranked up and with RT performance set to medium. On Warzone, for example, I was able to play around 110 FPS comfortably, even in crowded Warzone lobbies. Now, with these results from these two games, I was thinking I was getting a little bit thermal throttled due to the chassis design and also cooling. It's extremely important to get adequate cooling to the chassis and to the components inside. So if you're buying this PC, make sure to get the AIO option instead so you're not thermal limited. I almost guarantee you if you had more adequate cooling solution in this system, you'll unlock more performance out of it as well. Now, overall performance, I was impressed. Boot times are blazing fast and it jumps around different applications at lightning speed. In PC Mark, I was able to get a score of around 6,700 points, and Future Mark, the score was closer to 10,764 points. Both are excellent numbers, and it really showcase what a good overall system the R12 is. Though once again, the noise performance when gaming is extremely loud, and I measured the noise level to be around 48 decibels. So keep that in mind that the R12 is not exactly a quiet system unless you spiel up the money and get the AIO version of it. Overall, the Alienware Aurora R12 is somewhat of a great gaming PC, especially for anyone who does not want to build their own custom systems as of right now. As mentioned previously, the system's physical design has some charms and some drawbacks, and the performance depends very much on how much you're willing to spend on upgrades. Not to mention that Dell often has discounts and payment plans that can save you a ton of money while also giving you 3-year warranty and support. And in today's market where it's nearly impossible to get a hold of many computer parts, buying a pre-built system like the R12 makes a lot of sense. So to put it bluntly, the Alienware R12 is a really nice gaming PC. With that said, it is also not a very price-conscious purchase, but it is worth the investment, especially in today's market. So this brings us to the end of the video. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the review. As always, please remember to hit that like button for the good old YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't already, then please also share this video and subscribe and join us on our Discord channel for the latest tech trends in tech. This is David from Real Hardware Reviews, signing out.